Hello Blender folks, welcome and welcome back to the Gnomes. Today Saturday, we are going to continue here the character, mostly character and some assets in the scene that I'm making, but here I'm in the character file. So this is Dorothy, she's the main character of the fantasy, sci-fi fantasy universe, and let's get some soundtrack. Basically, there are tons of things to do here, and I was already improving or reassessing the rig from the facial case. And so here, essentially, I was remaking the eyes rig because I needed to reposition the eyelids, their rest position. Now they are slightly closed, like just not wide open as would be the character design from the model sheet. So I've repositioned that, and just now the wave paints need some fixing. Also, I made a setup that you see that it changed the rest position from the pose position. So this is not an error, this was on purpose. So this is a setup that this will be not totally recommended for any kind of rig, but it's an interesting technique. It's the depth warp control map setup. So basically it's a differentiation between the deform rig and this is the control rig, right? Between the deform rig and the control rig. Could be a mechanism rig as well, but the point of doing this is that we can have an arbitrary rest pose, you know, when we reset the bones on pose mode. We can do that fairly easy with pose assets, but pose assets don't reset the pose. Right? They are different, unless there is a specific pose asset feature that would do this. I think not. That would be great, because this will sort of render this technique mostly not obliterated, but obsolete what it is. However, there's a great reason to use this, which is not just about changing the position of the skeleton on rest pose. Actually, the main reason to do this kind of setup is so that we can have a mesh that is positioned with their respective deformed bones. So we can do this for a hand. I had a highlight or even tutorial about this, I guess. So I don't have here, right? They are matching positions, but we could have the deformed bones of the fingers slightly bent with the fingers themselves, or the fingers mesh rest position slightly bent, and that would be better for the deforms of the joints, spontaneously better deforms. It depends, of course, on the joints. This is a very interesting technique that will help in many cases, in all cases actually. Usually it provides these better spontaneous deforms, but there are drawbacks to doing that. So you can't have for example, I was exploring this. So this is all about A pose or T pose actually. I prefer T pose because there's an advantage, many advantages, but two advantages for T pose. The main one, of course, is the most popular understanding, easier to understand, is that the bones, we can have them very, very organized in orthogonally to world space even, and that is very good, because then we can have well, yeah, actually, because of I key pole target, so maybe there's some bending there. Yeah, there is. So but you see, the hand is still orthogonal, and if you see from front view, it are straight. So all these orientations, they help in rigging. they make rigging easier and more organized. So this is very advantageous for many reasons. Like also, if we are starting Blender, I-key, inverse kinematics, bone constraint particularly can be very hard to achieve if the bones don't have a perfect alignment. Like in this case, they don't. So this needs to be to make the inverse kinematics works good here. I need extra work in the setups, which otherwise it won't work well. Okay, so another way that we can use it, I was using for the mouth, but is that we can have a smaller mouth, and then we can have a no, let's not use the lips example here. So here I can have what I did here is that this is much better for the skinning method, because for posing the eyelids and consequently the eyelashes as well, but the eyelids, because then let's get the bones here. Let's get the I need to real wave paint this. So let's get the eyelids bones, then we have let's hide the skeleton deforms, and I want the facial controllers, yes, so but just for the eyelids. So here we go. So deform, where are you? Eyelids. Okay, so you see these bendy bone splines here, these are the deform layer, right? The deform, and so, but the rest positions are like this. So these are the tweaker bones, the controller, right? And you see they are in another position. So what the setup of depth warp control map does is that these bones here, which are parented here, but not only parented, they have a transformation bone constraint. Now in this case particular is just a copy location on pose space, can be world spaces as well. So it will immediately snap when you go in pose mode. It will immediately snap to its pair there, to its parent. So the parenting is just for it's just for spontaneous organization, but this parenting actually helps a little more here, because then the copy location, because this is a handler, you see its orientation is it's chaotic, right? It's not regular so if I used copy transforms, which includes copy rotation, copy scale, then it will rotate here. I wouldn't be able to use the pose space, and so I couldn't snap it. It will snap to the tweaker, but it will also rotate like that, and that will be terrible. So this is why just copy location is what I want here, but I have a copy rotation basically still through parenting relation. So this in principle should work. Maybe I have trouble with the other automation systems. I would have to check that, but in principle, you see this rotates both, so don't seem to have any trouble with indirect posing. We're gonna be careful about those things, these automations, but in principle, yeah, this involves different pathways of transforms, like copy, bone constraints pathway, transforms pathway, parenting relation transforms pathway. So those things can be quite complicated, but there are strategies and there is knowledge, right? You can use theory and to assess this properly and know what we are doing. So I'm still learning, like I've just understood what I was doing wrong for the automation of a helper rig for the whole body, the skeleton, and so I need to, now I know what I need to do. I need to retake the systems, the helper rig in those automation setups. Now I know exactly what needs to be done to solve it. I needed a mechanism bone. Yeah, this is gonna be another topic. Okay, maybe I can access this today, but we here need to reassess the wave paint. And let's see. Okay, what I'm doing here. Okay, so this mesh, this eyelids mesh, is shrink wrapped through shrink wrap modifier. We can do this with shrink wrap bone constraints, but with shrink wrap modifier is this one, shrink wrap eyelids. This one will tell the eyelids mesh, which is a target vertex group, basic waves, right? Just total waves there. In this, I think no smoothing, just the eyelids, not the eyelashes, and so the eyelids will just snap, shrink wrap to the eye surface, and then we solve this very complicated problem, challenge of having the eyelids mesh following the curvature of an eye when the eye surface or eyeball is not symmetric, is not a sphere, is not symmetric. So this is a shrink wrapping shines in this, and we can actually use deformed bones instead. We need sort of a legion, let's say like that, a legion of mini deformed bones to act as a shrink wrap, with shrink wrap bone constraints. So they could substitute a shrink wrap modifier like this one. I have a setup if you're interested in my Gumroad, it's free. It shows some of this, and so the bendy bones we can convert. There's even an new add-on apparently that does this conversion now. I never tried, but I've checked. There's something about CJ Dive have recently made an add-on tutorial. He was mentioning he mentioned that sounds very interesting. It automates the convert. So yes, we can use bendy bones and convert them to regular deformed bones. So we can use the setup, we can bake the animation, the actions, and export this to outside software like game engines. Even the shrink wrapping features, because then if you have the legion of mini deformed bones with shrink wrap bone constraint, we can bake their positions in space, and so we can fake the shrink wrap. Of course, there will be just for animations preset stuff, but that's the reason, right? So because this shrink wrapping feature, bone constraints in general, those things are not exportable on their own FBX format, right? They would need to be, it's just the baking, right? And so here I'm not sure what's happening to the mesh sometimes. Maybe I was just posing wrong. Yes, or it's the automation of the eyelash that is not complete. Yeah, possibly that. Yeah, I think it should be the... Okay, so let's fix the waves of these things. So here we'll go for eyelids, re-wave paint eyelids versus position revise. Okay, this is what I've did before yesterday. So I've changed the rise position, so it's much better to... is that the character design is hard. We can't just do what is visual, we need to do what is better for the skinning also, or there are many approaches and some will cause certain trouble. Alright, I've already done this character's rig many times, or this style, so I know what I'm doing, but I need sometimes to still there are some challenges that I struggle with, and this is time consuming, so yeah, rigging. So here folks, let's get the wave paint, right? So I'm gonna hide some objects here because they will just be in front of everything. Let's hide the eyes, mouth, the eyes. No, we want the eyes, but we don't want the eye coins. We don't want the eyebrows, just the eye surface there. then hide the hair and make the costume as well. Okay, so this we are ready to work here. Yes, we can, this bones is good enough. We don't want the controls of the body at this moment, just for the master face, I guess. Yeah, just the tweak eyelids, yeah, just this one. So I'm gonna save here, and we are gonna mask the eyelashes for this work. So here we're gonna use additional masking as well. So this is simple. We need to gonna also hide the eyelashes faces from here. Alright, and then I'm gonna isolate the, okay, let's isolate this. So these vertices, they correspond to the eyelids border, so I would just like to, maybe I just re-extrude this, because their purpose is yeah, it's just to be a well, so it will be easier, because then I can reuse the, right, so duplicates the vertex data here, but then I would need to readjust instead of re-wave paint manually. Yeah, so it's like refreshing this mesh. I could make a or could be a script for that. No, it's a too small thing. Let's just do the wave paint here. So I need to bring here, we don't need this in this Blender version, just we don't need to, okay, take off the simplify, I mean enable simplify. We don't need to select the armature to start wave painting, so we can also, oh yeah, of course, this is where we should probably be posing, and then we can easily select the, we can easily wave paint this stuff. Okay, no need to select bones, so here we go on wave paint mode. Let's see what this is about. Okay, I need to go to bones, there, 3. So we see that this is very bad waves, and here I have changed the positioning, so we got a lot of things to do here. So let's make a, that would be nice to be a highlight about this, right? Let's call it wave painting serious eyelids stuff. Serious, serious, that means that this is super annoying, right? Okay, let's do this. Let's also enable star on here. Let's return. Okay, folks. So I'm about to re-wave paint the eyelids of this rig. Let's get yeah. So I have some features here. So I'm gonna hide everything here that is not important. Disable, right? Hide, whatever. I'm taking them off here. Not the body. We want the body. I need the eye surface there. I don't need the eyebrow, but okay, it's not a problem here. And also in the object modifiers there is the eyelashes, right? So I'm gonna mask them so I can see what I'm doing. But I will have to hide from here, so because hiding is the real protector. So I'm gonna get this tree, select this face of the, which has a because the eyelashes in this rig, they are connected mesh to the eyelids, so this is normal, it works. It creates some non-manifold things in this particular case, but that's okay because of this mesh here. So anyways, I'm gonna hide this too, and we're going to pick this, expand a little more than the lid creases region, because I want to assess the waves there for the eyelids. It might be okay if you have some waves from the eyelids onto the orbicularis oculi region, you know, around the eye holes, but it's just for visualization. So I'm gonna Shift H hide all this, and so this is what I need to wave paint. So I'm gonna go on wave paint mode here in Blender 4.4 point something, 4.3 in this case, 443. This we don't need to shift multi-select the armature, no, just select the mesh. Also I'm gonna take off go and simplify, so it will disable the shrink wrap, the subdivision, sorry, subdivision modifier. That I have a shortcut for. I have a shortcut for the simplify. Shift Control Alt I, right? So I can easily swap this, and this is very good because in my computer this lags a lot. Wave paint mode lags a lot if we have the on this character. This, I think, it's the subdivision surface modifiers probably. So anyways, here I just need to make sure I got the bones. So my mask here is these selected faces. Looks like we need some wireframes from something else. Yeah, we need this one. It's the problem of, okay, the mesh. Oh folks, okay, I forgot also, I'm gonna pause these ones because this will expand the eyelids mesh and will make it much easier to wave paint that. And the masking system is not finished yet. So this is a bendy bone, so this is for the upper eyelid. You see, just two bendy bones. This works very well. Maybe in this case, because of the character design, we might need some helper or a continuation here, but in principle what I'm trying here should work. Usually this works. In this case I've decided to set this this like this, the mesh like this, and then this bone I didn't want to place it like here, so because then we have this curvature and this will not be very horizontalized, although that would work. So if I start to have too much problems posing this mesh here, even after this, what I'm gonna do here with wave paint, then maybe yes, I'm gonna reposition this handle with the bendy bone and the eyelash, whatever. So I'm gonna spread these eyelids here. I'm gonna just work on the upper eyelid, so I need to use some masking here. So I'm gonna get this, and instead of doing this we could go on, of course we could go on wait, I think okay, anyways, we're gonna get what it is, this tweak, select box. So here we're gonna select some face loops, right, with masking, and we're gonna get this, and this, and then C, and then we're gonna just hold shift, and I think this should be, here we got some weird stuff. Let's go 3, let's go 1 again. Yeah, we got some difficulty with some selections there. So these outer faces I don't want to select. I think this is good enough. So 3, no, yeah, 3, select the bone, and 1. So now we have hidden mesh, we have even masked mesh, the eyelash, but they are hidden also, necessary for the protection. So whatever is hidden is protected. Masking doesn't protect, the mask modifier, I mean, for the eyelash. But the mesh of the eyelash is also hidden, just as other stuff here around. Then I need here the yeah, then the mask, paint mask option. And so now we're gonna wave paint this thing finally. So the idea here is very simple. We want a gradation for, oops, we want a gradation, a regular gradation. So see here we have a big problem. So we're gonna get maybe this value, we're gonna use the 70s, 0.7 I mean, that value there. Then we can blur that in the future. Here we need to spread this more. We could use an animation here, but yeah, I think this is faster here. Here we can, so we're gonna wave paint this one. Here we see that we have a problem for finding the certain vertices. 3, select 1. So it's not spreading yet because I think we need Shift X to get this value, okay? Because there's rogue waves, right? So I'm gonna take off some waves. So bendy bones, they don't work very well with blended waves. So I'm gonna try to take off this. Maybe for this rig it might be good. I'm unsure right now. But we're gonna limit this stuff. Okay, I'm gonna save. Let's see what this does now. Okay, so you see we cannot have, if I want to push that thing down, I probably have to either I give more waves to this one. Let's invert this Control I, and let's bring some strong waves. So see now they are disputing. Here we're gonna, this will be very messy if I don't try to. Okay, I have rogue waves in here apparently. Yeah, I don't know how that happened. So hold Control. I think I was wave painting the wrong bone. Okay, so here we don't want this also. In this corner, maybe we take this off. Alright, so this is this bone. For now, this is fine. Let's select this one, mask, and here I'm not sure what's going on. So I think for this one we could try to. Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. So we're gonna give these maximums here just to make sure. This positioning seems correct for the joint here. I try to position the handle, right, the middle exactly in the connection of some joint, but it didn't match the character design so well in the center, I mean, of the eye. So this got not exactly on the joint, on the edge loop, but that's okay. It will still work. We will still be able to have good deforms here. yeah, very good deforms. Bendy bones are super helpful in this setup. Here we're gonna reassess this, so you need to, yeah, so I'm gonna give these waves here first of all. Let's get this one to have, I think, here, yeah. I'm gonna expand, just making sure we have the good waves here. For this corner, maybe we want this. I'm not sure about this one. So I think I'm gonna use this value here for this, and then I'm gonna blur just a little for this. I'm gonna mask this. I probably would like to exclude these ones, this whole face loop, so I'm just gonna assess if there's any. Well, there's a better way to do it. It will be like we get the on edit mode. I just want to select these vertices here. We're gonna go back on wave paint mode, gonna select this bone, then we press 2. This is the vertex mask, the vertex selection option. We get waves to 0 and okay, 3, Alt left click to select the bone, 1 to no 2 to select that same masking thing, Control X, so I'm setting to 0 waves. If I invert the selection, I would do this, right? So I'm really deleting everything outside. Now, okay, no, let's stop. Invert, okay, Control X. So I'm doing all the bones here, even though I'm not sure. I'm just doing this to be sure. You can just press 2 and 2 to enable this. Control X, there we go. So now I get this one. I'm just gonna hide this vertex, go back to 3, and now we have precisely what I want to wave paint here, except that I need to make some selections for the. So here in this case we're gonna blur this. I want to take off here. I can go until the end, right? And here I really want some giga blurring here, because we don't want this influence here to be so strong. So it'll be a gradation here. So this will be a spontaneous, what wave paint can do if we start to blur from 0 to something else. So I don't want these vertices, I just want these ones. And we continue here. Of course we'll have some trouble, so I'm just gonna blur this everything. Let's press 3. Yeah, I want to pose. This is disorganized. Let's pose like here. So 1. No, there's nothing to protect here in this case. It's simple because I don't have too much mesh here. It's so here the trick is to make very precise differentiation between the corners, each loop. So this will be the thing that I'll have to do very carefully. Okay, let's reset these bones, and we see that something not very nice is happening when we get this rest pose, but it doesn't mean that. I'm not sure what's happening there, but there seems to be some overlapping. Maybe I need to. Okay, what I need to check is that, yeah, so we see this is not desirable. The mesh is moving too much, right? The one that is closer to the border the eyelid border, right? The inner borders of the eyelids. So we need to differentiate more these waves, and possibly there could be rogue waves. Let's see. Heat is not okay, so deform eye holes. All right, so these rogue waves could be a problem. Okay, no, this is not a rogue wave. This is the eyelid top, the true eyelid top. Okay, we're gonna yeah, before addressing the rogue waves, I'm gonna redo all those eye hole things, because we've made changes here, so it's probably better if we adapt this. Okay, we're gonna blur all this, and for this one I think, yes, we would like to have some influences here. Alright, but we need to maybe go another level. And this one now seems to, I'm not sure here what. This could be the rogue waves outside, yeah, because this should be, yeah, this shouldn't be working, doing all this. Yeah, so I'm unsure, so we're gonna address the rogue waves. Well, I would like to have this one here indeed. Okay, my technique here is that the borders, the outer border, they should have very low waves, very low waves for the, and that usually helps preventing some. It improves the result. So here, I think I don't want these waves here. I could even try to ignore this maybe and just start from this. Maybe this is not very good as well. Okay, you see that this is at least the eyelids shapes, the curvature of the eyelids is usually very good from these bendy bones, right? Here we haven't completed too much stuff, right? Let's address the possible rogue wave. So just pick something here. Probably this. So there's some, no, not head, what we could have, yeah, we have something for the head, but it's all the same, so not a problem, this. Yeah, this is okay. Deform, shrink wrap, this is fine. This is this is just a duplicator, proxy face wrap. I don't remember this. Some duplication thing that I was doing. So maybe this one, for this one we don't want, maybe we don't want these things, right? And then I can smooth here. Same here, maybe here we don't want to reach this corner here. And we would like to actually yeah, maybe we wouldn't even like this. Well, maybe we like this, but very not too much. Yeah. As for this, Yeah, maybe we also want here. We need something to compete with the wave, so this is a problem. But no, this is working. Seems to be working. But okay, let's go now to the rogue waves. So we have eye hole. So usually eyelid bots. So eye hole 3, 5, 6, 4, 5, 4, 8, 7, 8. It's a circular thing, right? 6, 7. 6, 7. I don't find the 0, 1 strangely. Maybe it's on the corners. Yeah, so let's just pick this, and so I'm gonna dissolve all that. So it took off the eye hole 6, eye hole 7. Should be something here. Eye hole 8. So there is just eyelid top 1, 2, eyelid bot 1. Yeah, so alright, so this seems to be, we're gonna re-wave them, but now you have a very, okay, you see this artifact here? It's the stretch and squash artifact, I call it. So this is something that only occurs with bendy bones, the spline skinning. It's very ugly. So you see, what's happening is that we have rogue waves. These waves here are too strong on the extremity, and so when we change the bone, yeah, you see this mesh here starts to stretch and squash or deform, right, in the like it was in the sequence here in the bendy bone, and it's not very appealing. We get some sort of symmetric effect, right, along the bendy bone. So to solve this, we would need to take off these waves, but if we do this, we basically, if we do this, then we lose the, yeah, now we don't have this problem, but then, yeah, then this mesh is collapsing, but I don't have any control over it. So I need to find probably a helper bone, some way to address it. So I never did that, but this could be a good example on how we can, because if I wave paint this mesh here with this in this current state, because I didn't want this bone to be positioned lower than that, so we can have a more stable stretching here. So you see here, I need to use the eye hole to lock this. The eye hole is the bones that are the other layer of bones, which are around. Click eye holes, deform eye holes. That's it. Orbicularis, okay. So I need these bones to have waves on the eyelid, so they. You see, I have some rogue waves here. No rogue waves. Just my illusion. There are. Yeah, it's because one is called tree. Yeah, their names are all incorrect, right? So this is the layer of the eye holes, so they control the... We won't see here, unfortunately, because the mesh is hidden. Yeah, so actually I'll have to unhide some mesh probably. We can just rehide them later. If we had some more... There is an automation here that is not working sufficiently. Yeah, we need to rework the automation for... You see this bone here now, it needs to go lower, right? This one. So I have the bone constraints, is just that I'll need to revise anyways, but to start here we could just main tweaker. Now this is... We want to... Okay, so yes, the main... From the main tweaker we want a lot more of here. Okay, this is more likely. Also, why you... This one I don't know why. This is too much. So this will be very complicated, right? So these are possibly... We prefer to use a pose asset for if you want to close the eye naturally because of the character design, right? So here we need to find out at least something that will be more accommodating, right? I think this is not terrible, but it is not the time for this. This is less important right now. We need to fix the waves, right? So if I address the eye hole, we want eye hole, yeah, the eye hole bones. We want to have some blended waves here, right? On it's not this one, it's tweak. Alright, so here we can... I need this. Okay, then we can expand this selection. Actually, we're gonna just get this one and here. So actually, no, we're gonna just... Okay, maybe we get this selection, yeah. So we're gonna touch the eyelid creases there, and this is just a reference for us. So we're gonna yeah, we can use this selection. Okay, then we gonna pick some bones here. Apparently we've lost all the waves of these bones. We accidentally removed them when oh yeah, no, what's happening here, folks? No, this is deforming because of okay, it's something else that is carrying these waves. Okay, so I've lost the waves here. This is tragedy. Hold on, what is going on here? We got some chat. Okay, let's get... I can't get this thing. I'm trying to access the chat. Sorry, folks. Hold on. Okay, need to use the mouse. Alright. So, yeah. When I deleted the waves, everything has gone. Okay, but maybe I'll rework that anyways. Alright. They'll be deleted, but we're gonna rework this because I have changed. I was changing the rig, so maybe it will be good to readdress these waves anyways. So we want very strong waves here in these corners for these bones, because they will carry the, yeah, they'll have some very important role in deforming this mesh. Okay, I don't know why I cannot paint there, but it's okay. We're gonna. There we go. Okay, we need to. Yeah, so they will control the shape, right, of these surrounding the eyes, right? Literally, the eye hole, the contour of the eye hole. This bendy bone, no, this bendy bone is just about here, right? So this is why another good reason to try to keep those exactly on the joints, the bones, right? And so here I think we can also get this one, maybe. And so for, yeah, also this one. This is, okay, we're gonna get here. No, wrong vertex is here that we want to paint. Maybe we want also here. We may reduce these values later. And here this seems accurate, yeah. So these are just the exactly the lead crease. No, hold on, this is wrong. It's the opposite. I want, this is the lead crease. Here is where we want strong waves. Alright, for now. So if I, of course here we won't get good results because anyways we need to wave paint more, but we're gonna go back for the masking. Now I'm gonna try to expand some selections here. We're gonna pick this one. We're gonna take off these faces here. We're gonna wave. Yeah, we don't want this anymore. This selection here, this face loop, we don't want anymore without the vertices, right? Like this. Yes, so now we can just continue. We just blur from outside to inside. No, from inside to outside. So because these are bendy bones, this is slightly delicate. Maybe we can push here a little, yeah. But this could be sufficient. It will depend on the if we have other bones sharing waves on this region. I don't think the head will be sufficient, but here I want some little more influence in here. Now you're starting to get okay. We're having some extra deforms because we have a ghost face here. We're gonna turn this off because it's all corrupted now. We'll need to this thing is not good Japanese dictionary, so you can see it. I'm struggling with the chat, so I'm gonna turn off this thing for now so you can no, this is the real effect of the bendy bone, so it's not what I'm thinking. So essentially we have very bad deforms there. We'll need to improve this, folks, so this will be very tedious. But okay, we're gonna keep improving these waves here thanks to this mask. We'll try to do the basics here. And then maybe I will need to structure the head. I think we got a mistake here. This is the lid crease position. Yeah, this is the lid crease. We can expand this wave here. As for this, we can probably expand here as well. Okay. We have an extra bendy bone here, so we can complete this task with it. And here, let's return to this one. Just try to readjust these ones. All right. Maybe here we can connect this. This is dangerous, so we can yeah, let's take this off and let's leave it like this. Transferring waves, individual vertex groups, this is something that is urgent, needs some sort of Blender improvement. Okay, this bendy bone, I think we end up here. This one, we want this to be carried. Here we can try to reach this part, alright. No, we don't want these waves here. Maybe here we also don't want these waves. And so same reason we don't want. Let's invert here, Control I. We will take off these waves here. Alright, so this looks I forgot this one, right? Control I. Yeah, we'll need this one, and so here maybe we get so we probably need to expand these waves a lot more, but you know, this seems to be okay. They have some automation with the for the eyelids, which is desirable. Here we have some intersections because I don't remember exactly. Yeah, we need to improve the waves anyways. No, the eye is showing, so okay, so this is an automation for main eyelid top, but we have something better. Oh, I see, this is not the bone that I was thinking it was. Anyways, we made change here. So in principle, okay, I have to rework these automations as well. This seems to be failing. Setup, something weird is happening here. Why do I have 3 of these? So far this is correct. Then I have this one, and why this is not controlling? Okay, apparently we have some swapped controls here, so yeah, it makes sense that we have this automation, but I expect that here at this point okay, so let's check here. We get probably something related to the change. So this bone has an automation regarding the, yeah, first it has an automation regarding this, so we're gonna improve main tweaker. Yeah, we're gonna mount this one a little more. We probably want this one to go a little more up. Okay, so I'm gonna actually reduce this a little. This one is probably okay. that's better seen from the rest position, right? So okay, we have this automation. This is not good, so I'm gonna push this a little more. All right, this one maybe even more, and this one about here. Let's check now. Let's get this smooth, more diagonal curvature. Okay, except that here we might struggle a little, so I'm gonna reduce, and reduce. Okay, so it means to do that, but its automation is not good. We probably would like to have some custom space here for this kind of trick here. Not for the center one, just for, let's say, copy transforms. No, this one is not used. So let's do a Shift D. Let's disable this one. I'm gonna use local space, custom space, though this is a special technique, so I'm gonna just copy armature, copy bone, and so here is the same thing before original mix, but now we can do this. We have other additional pivoting controller, and the center one doesn't do this. The only problem is that if we are trying to do here, they can have some issues, but then we can just reposition, right? So it's not ideal, but this just means that we might have to reduce some of the controls, but we have some a bit more control of the curvature. This could be okay, right? I think it's not bad. Yeah, we can manipulate this a little better with some automation. So this one, we don't want this because it's already rotating in place, although we could compare. Yeah, it pivots, so it's a little more interesting for the combination. It feels, I think it's better. Okay, so let's just compare here. Now, in this case, I think the first one is better. Yeah, it gives some curious. Okay, it's better for. It's more about rotation in place, so that's seems to be slightly more advantageous in general. And the other one, we couldn't decide if we want the same or not, so we're just gonna get the same thing here. Now we're gonna duplicate it, it's easier, so disable this one, then we're gonna local space, custom space, and Control V, Control C, Control V, that's it. Yeah, it barely moves or barely does too much for the other, but that seems useful. So just this one, I think we need to maybe reduce here, maybe reduce, maybe this one in the middle we can have. And remember, this is just one automation, it's not even the most relevant one for. We could try to leverage this a little more. Let's see what happens. Okay, I think this is fine. Then let's address this. We're gonna do the same thing here, the same setup. So this one we can do a Shift D, even though we're not gonna use, we're gonna get it ready. Who knows, maybe in the future, just to maintain consistency. Then I can okay, so this is using this. Then probably want this to go more. Alright, then this one we're going to duplicate this and local space, custom space, control V, armor, control V, control C. So here it's very dangerous if we rotate like this. But there's little to do here because we want it to go to deep more. No, actually not. We actually want this one to go a little more. Not so much. Want some synchronicity. It's just to tweak a little more. This maybe we let's try again. Okay, spontaneously we're getting this. Then for the rotations, so do we want this to go more or less? Maybe leave it like this, yeah. And this, do we want to, yeah, keep it like this, right? And as for this one, so this Shift D, we're gonna get here, local space, custom space, control C, control V, control C, control V. So it's just the same targets there. Here you see we start to, so I probably need, if I'm not gonna wave paint this mesh there with eyelids, with any of these bendy bones, I think it would be nice it has just wave from this one, but because it gets no competition, it seems to be very destructive. I might need a helper bone, which is terrible, but might be the only way to go. Or maybe a very, very extremely, no, again this normalization is fucks up everything. I just need some stability there from something, and I don't have that something, so that's... Alright, so we are almost there for this this automation here. This is slightly in the bad order because... Okay, but I like the... Actually, let's use the subdivision surface modifier. This is even better, right? Okay, so this is not the pose asset yet, so with pose assets you can get the eyes closing in sync. So this is just some manipulators that can help certain things. Okay, I think this one is what you can do with this. Maybe a little less, or maybe no. Let's do this and maybe this one just a little less, right? Good, but this is not what I wanted actually. But we already fixed, readjusted these ones. This will be, it's not a waste of time. We want this one to not have this automation anymore. What happens is that this bone here, I think it was here, and this one was here. So this one, right? So in this way, the mapping for this they are very close to it. This one was very close to this, and so I wanted this automation. So now we have this copy transform, which is actually from this, and this is absolutely, it could have, but it might be now a very low value here, and that could be, yeah, so this could be useful to have just a low value, but now I need to have another one. Yeah, probably need to change these automators as well, so one by one. Yeah, the eye hole controllers, the orbicularis oculi controlling the eyelids through bone constraints. So yes, this is very important, because then I can shape the face of the character and the eyelids already will follow, and I can also pose the eyelids. Like, it's just a hierarchy of the setup, right? It's very important. So I'll have to remake these automations, but my focus here is not the automation, so I'm gonna just fix this this aberration here, that basically I need this to be yeah, I'm gonna do like no, not this, we're just gonna duplicate these copy transforms and paste this here. We're gonna, yeah, the name is incorrect, but we're gonna change the target here, and now, yeah, we'll maintain this. We wanna expand this value here. Let's check what was the other value. So here, for example, yeah, it's not too far from what I expect, so let's test here. Yeah, so it's leveraging this one, and here we have, so these things are additive because of the mix I'm using, so they cause no trouble. We're having some intersections here, but probably this is in a great deal because of the wave paint that I'm many things, right? So incorrect automations, need to readjust here. So let's get here this yeah, probably we want a more effect here, yeah, this could be, and the waves here are not very good. I think this is too much already. This is okay, and here we see this bendy bone is having too much. We need to complete these waves. So here you see this is, so it could be good that we have structure for the eyelids from the eye holes. I think we're gonna do this. So let's go back finally. We need to hide this. We are also gonna hide these faces. We're gonna select these face loops. So here, just looking for the, actually here, just for the eyelids mesh, we're gonna, yeah, lagging from subdivision. No, let's go to the simplify. Let's mask this. We need to pose some bones here. So I'm gonna wave paint now the eyelids with structure of the eye holes. I don't want just the eye holes to have on the eyelids waves only on the eye, up to the, down to the eyelids creases. I want the deform eye hole bones to expand to all of the eyelids mesh, so they can maybe, except for the Yeah, why not? Yeah, okay. But these waves will be maybe very, very low. But no, we want a gradation. Maybe this will help. Yeah, this will help. You see, we are gonna make a gradation, and we will not select the center ones. This will. Oh yeah, this is a good technique. So because this one goes right there, probably I need this structure here, so we're gonna blur this, not that with that string, but something close to. We need to have this we need to control this mesh in many ways. So another way to control this mesh is to just, I'm gonna do this, but it will be very, very small, because this can be very destructive, as we already can see, right? So I need to steal waves. Yeah, probably we need to. Okay, we're gonna do this sort of aggressive thing. I think this is too much. I wasn't expect to reach this, but it seems to help. Yeah, we want to pull this mesh apart, right? Yes, the only place it's not helping is here, because I don't know about this yet, how I'm gonna solve. So maybe I need this bone also to have some bendy bone influence here. I doubt it's a good idea, but yeah, it sort of works. Let's see. It can work, but we need to be very careful. Yeah, this is not bad. For this bone it's not bad, but for this bone it's still bad. So we want to, maybe we need to take off this wave. So this is super delicate, as you can see, but one way to fix this maybe would be to make an exception for this one. Maybe we want to push this wave stronger in Control I. Let's push here. This can be dangerous for many reasons, but we're gonna try, because then when I control this bone, now the problem goes there, right? But I need to better structure this part here. This will be about the head bone. Yeah, this is yeah, my head bone is incomplete. So this is a known technique, right? We're gonna structure the head with some. So we want a very strong waves for the one structure for the head on some parts here. It might be difficult to decide which is the structure of the head of the skull, right? Actually, here will be probably maximum. It's weird that the head. Oh yeah, the head is all messed up. So we're gonna fix the head. So the skull. It's not exactly a head bone now. It's a skull. It's more a skull bone, right? So here, for example, I might want 0.9. So you can be very specific on these waves. And now we go back to the full skull waves. Here, however, this will be arguable. We're gonna decide this later. Also, since we are doing this, let's get something done here. We have a vertex hide head. I'm gonna select this here, invert the selection, go back on wave paint mode, mask, we select not this but the def head. We're gonna take off all these waves here. Yeah, so need the mask, otherwise we'll end up deleting even invisible mesh, which is what I accidentally didn't destroy. I have backup, I will just use as a check, right? Even I have a duplicate face here, proxy face that I'm not using. I could use it as a just to check the waves that I've made for this eye hole bones, right? So now yeah, this thing. Okay, let's continue here. So the head bone, right? So you see, if we can find what we need, what we are looking for, we don't even need the okay, we're gonna keep this masked, everything else. We're gonna continue getting the maximum waves there. Yeah, maybe here. So Control X, no, Shift X, sorry. We're gonna just get here. So there's a threshold and try to respect this. Shift X here. No, this is not 1. Okay, then okay, it's not if something is missing, it's not important. It's almost 1. So this mesh here, should we? Yeah, it's not because I'm not using auto normalize, so this means that I can wave paint this full for the head, and actually we'll have still the other bones will still steal the waves from the head, so it's fine, we can simplify this stuff. But of course I would need some gradation still, because we want the head to leave some more space, right? So let's try, for example, 0.5. So I will grant this some structure from the head, but not too much. It's not that I cannot have waves from there. I just wave paint on that, that's fine. But here we're gonna still have strong structure, because it's bony structure, right? So we'll go, and here we could probably do some blurring, but we're gonna maintain then blur. Okay, and here we gonna go back here, and we're gonna try to bring these structures here. So I have this face loop, right? So I'm gonna actually keep this 0.5, just not here in this end. I will just blur. All right. Maybe actually, hold on, let's go until here and blur what's next, right? This is very analytic, but like it's so painful that let's leave it in this way. This is simpler because this is it's the skull bone, right? So we want to maintain this something that is easy to maintain, right? And see, the whole face has minimum waves. This is not necessary, but since I already have this, it's probably this is 0.02. Yeah, because 0.01 it will vanish on its own. I think because I'm using an add-on. So here I'm not sure about these ones, because here we are already in the domain of the lower face. And there are a lot of things going on here, even shrink wrapping. I fear that if I wave paint this, I will not have, I have some crazy, this will interfere with the rest of the rig. So yeah, I suspect this will be a bad idea. So I'm gonna just repaint this with I'll just leave the skull structure about here with some blurring, and that's it. So this is more flashier, and I believe that what I'm doing here should work. We could blur this inner part as well. No, but that will be too much confusing. So let's try to see what we can do with this structure, right? And then below, right? So the ear, it will be freer to be manipulated. Just around the ear, maybe we want, yeah, so maybe just here we want, yeah, let's maintain this. We should be careful, because if this is so distinct, the difference in the waves can be very critical. So maybe I should be wave painting the whole thing here, but no, we'll try this. We'll try like this after I check. So here, possibly I'd like to maintain this structure here. As for the back of the head, I think we are gonna yeah, so the back of the head is like, I'm not sure this will ever deform too much, so I'm gonna just maximize waves here. And here we're gonna start, yeah, here we're gonna make some better loops with the neck. So this is a delicate part, it's a intermediate joint, but it's not too hard to get what we want. So here probably we will just keep maximum waves for the chin here. Or maybe... No, we're gonna use these waves here, because I remember I have some jaw bones, so I'm just gonna give this, go until the chin, the jawline. This will use the So all this we're gonna use these waves, and when it comes to behind the head, yeah, so here, about here, then we're gonna just do this line entire full waves. I'm not sure the results I'll get, but in this transition, but if the waves are, there's nothing too much to be moved here, so it should work. So we'll do some basic blurring, we do again, and gradually we'll be getting good waves, good transition here. And the neck will also need some adjustments here, we'll see later, but this is pretty simple. In the worst case scenario, you can use for when the neck rotates. Yeah, this can cause some trouble, but it's been the least of my problems. We could use helper bones, or also I have bendy bone, which helps on the neck. So gonna go back to the bone thing, reset. So this is a wave paint was the wave paint of the head. So now we have some structure for the head, which should improve by a lot what we see from this stuff. But you see, this is moving crazily. This we don't have structure for that. And so this is what we need to be careful when we oh yes, of course, I just remember. Exactly. So I totally want this inner part of the face and the outer part to have structure, because these are not so expressive in the sense that they need to deform in crazy ways. So this is structural to the head also. So we're gonna continue picking yeah, the nose bridge I'll make, I'm not unsure, but because there's a curvature that is nice to have, but here it's not nice. So we're gonna structure this inner part here until the lid crease, something like this. So it's just this inner part here, and maybe even reaching towards this. So here, no, actually here I'm not very sure, but then here we'll also try the same thing. We're gonna push this out. We want to give this structure, so I don't even need to select the head bone if I know where to find from this sample group here okay, so we want to structure this in relation to the head, and that seems to be that. I guess this should work. Why not have this follow? Yes. Maybe this. Maybe we do this too. Okay. Although this will take off some waves from a certain bone there, it's okay. I think it's Here we could... Okay, let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, it's that I don't have enough waves here for this skull. I hope, yeah, so you need to expand. But here, most importantly, now this is it's not perfect, but you see we kind of solved the okay, I'm having some, let's cancel here. Now, Control Z, Control Z. It's the lag of the wave paint. Okay, so I have this bone. Yeah, it's incredibly laggy. So I need to do this on pose mode. So now when I pose this very close here, it's very easy to get, yeah, it's very easy to get a good expression. Now we talk. Now I've got something. Now I've got the cards. Yeah, so you have some glitches there. This probably can improve in many ways, but this is what I wanted. So you see, by having, I didn't need to create an extra helper regular deformed bone here to sustain this structure of the eyelid, which is not bendy bone, even though we have some waves from the bendy bone there, but it's very low. Oops, wrong selection. So I have, we can totally shape this in all sorts of ways. Yeah, the eyelids won't, just get the coins here too. So we can have very powerful eyelids posing now. Ignore the eyelash; they are like 50-60% done here. Lots of issues, but sometimes it works. Like this is sort of doing more or less what it was supposed to do. Here you have, you see, it's very smooth, so we are able to get finally this. So this idea is working. The concept here, I've aligned these bendy bones from the rest position. Then they are resetting here. The character design shape is not good enough here. Maybe I can reposition this bone. Let's use the snapping face here. We can try this. Maybe this is better. Yeah, maybe we can try. It's a pose bone, so it's a control bone, so it doesn't need to be matched. It might not be better. It might be better not even to. Oops, this is wrong. I mean, I want to change. You might not want to pose it necessarily on snap it. I mean, we don't need to snap it. It could be on other conditions, might be better. But I'm not gonna rotate it. It's just relocating could move all of them forward a little. Yeah, this one is struggling with the character design a little in this pose. There are many reasons why this is not happening properly. So let's see. Select this. Let's yeah, I'm gonna scale this down. They are just these bones are just let's also augment these ones. Let's also symmetrize some of these bones, re-symmetrize so you can yeah, so it's expressions like that, not like that, it's expressions like that that I need for the webcomic. So this was very urgent to fix. Now there is, despite some little details, we can use many things here, but let's see what, yeah, the automation, the wave paint of the eyelids, the orbicularis locally there's also messed up, so I think this is okay for, but I need to urgently be working offline in this rig or do more live streaming during the day to complete this fast, otherwise this will take forever, or maybe like one extra week, because there are just so much details that are fundamental, that I consider fundamental. So if you see all this time here, this is one day regarding streaming, I need to do a few more stuff like this on the facial rig in order to get this ready. So this written is not gonna help, so I'm gonna, let's say that for now rigging is done for this stream. Let's go back then for the other scene, and probably here we got some updated, even it is here. So I'm gonna make some assets now, I mean for this scene, so maybe, so there are, you see, we are getting huge progress here for the character. What is this? Okay, this is a setup that I need to show what it is. It's experimental, but at this point it works, but I'm still checking how far if I can improve it. You see, this is a inverse kinematic setup for the eye hole, and this automates the eyelid. So we have here, we could use this. So it's not good totally, because we have some motions here that will completely destroy the eye like this. So it's not so smart, but at least up and down and some pushing and pulling we can do. And here the same thing for the other extremity. And so this is based on a simultaneous F key, I key posing setup that I have. I have a Gumroad file for free you can download on the simultaneous F key, I key setup. It's not, I did for the body, not for this, but the principle, one of the principles that I've done here is the same. So you see this mechanism chain here. So you have these tweak bones which are parented to these mechanism bones, and so in this way we can offset the, it's not actually super complicated to do, there are many ideas there, but it's complicated, yeah, at least a little complicated if we try to learn by yourself. So it needs some reference, can gain a lot of time, right? Direct reference. So the idea here is that we can offset a tweak rig, right, which Rigify has got it, right? Anyway, so we can offset a tweak rig. So the tweak rig is actually, it works as if it were some F key chain, but it's not an F key chain. It's just tweakers, and so there's no F key chain. There's just I key chain and tweakers, and then we have so it's not exactly simultaneous I key F key, but it is, if we consider that we could still do a F key from like this, right? So of course this is not optimal, but it's like F key is garbage, because F key, yeah, that's it. F key, I key is garbage basically. They will, because they do not invert, they have a lot of because it's not non-dualistic. So this is, it's not non-dualistic. It is actually, it's not dualistic. I mean, they do not reverse on their own, so you don't have control. Actually, you make this stuff, F key, parenting, I key, which will, you fuck your rig basically, because then from that we can do a lot of stuff, but then we are super restrained on the. So this is why it is very bad. And even Rigify. Oh, these guys are very smart, right? They did all this stuff. It's impressive. I can't read that. They're scripting, right? Python scripted, so even more. The idea of generate meta rigs, regenerate rig. This is super cool. But even themselves, they haven't found a better way to do simultaneous F key, I key for posing, for trajectory. So you need to be switching between F key and I key for making animation. Just for me, I come from traditional 2D animation, so I'm biased, but it makes absolutely no sense to me. It's ridiculous. So but they did that because for a reason. It's because I key, F key, therefore kinematics because of it not being dual. So I've heard something about they're trying to make this for the future of rigging and animation in Blender. So they are aware, I think, of the, if I interpreted correctly what I've listened, they are aware of the dualistic limitation of the F key and I key. So if they can just make the computer make the Blender, right, make the inversion of these chains regarding their parenting relation on demand, then we can do a lot of things. Also, here it doesn't totally work, but I have, if we enable auto I key option, I think I might have some additional controls of some of these. It was my idea first to do. I have another idea now that engaged into this. There's some very interesting thing. You see, this I can do thanks to I key bone constraint. You see, I pose this, it doesn't move this. I pose this, it doesn't move this, but it moves everything that is inside. And then I have free control, or no, not free control, but I have some amount of control of this by. So what auto I key does, auto I key option, right, which is a Blender thing, it allows to. It sort of allows for simultaneous F key, I key. And Rigify, they are not really, when they made their rigs, they weren't trying to use this thing, I think, because they don't make too many they don't explore that feature, and that is very close to the simultaneous I key F key proposition. Anyways, let's continue here. So I'm gonna make a small pause here, but we're gonna continue from here. Let's check my plan here. So we've got where's this space? It should appear there. Okay, my world is transparent, this is correct, but this is for rendering, this is just for checking here. Okay, so I'm not sure why I'm not seeing the HDRI space there, which would be great if I could see it. No, there's something there. Yeah, there's something blurred in. It's like this thing is not, it's distorted or is scaled in a strange way. I don't know what's going on. Oh, it's the blur. Okay, it's blurred. Some amount of blur might be cool. So here we got some. So this is not what will be rendered, but it gets the idea of some cool stuff, right? So we can. I want to use this. It's also more economic. So these are very good because we can really see here in this viewport. It's sort of fast, because I've edited the light. I'm always trying to improve this, and in this way the background is transparent, so it's easier also to composite, I think. So this is a good setup, finally cleaning up stuff and making things better. Some things that I lose in the way because right, you're not saving a lot of iterations, and even if saving iterations, it's hard to keep track of all the details. So what I need to do here, let's get the using the yeah, some things I've lost here in the rig, but maybe it's not that bad. I still consider what is better for this the stretching, because if the hands they don't follow the head, wait, I could have a parent head. No, there I don't have the automation. Yeah, it's always there's a big problem. But hold on, this is no, it wouldn't work. I was just having a crazy idea here. She shouldn't be using this sword here, but I need to find the bone of it and separate it and stuff like that. This is more like a spiritual weapon. Shouldn't even be very apparent. So here you see a problem with this asset here. It might not fit this character's proportions very well, so something that I might consider later in the future. Let's see if I can do some rapid pulls here. Yeah, let's ignore the rest here. Sorry. This of course is not the viewport for doing this. here we could use actually, this is not for rendering, so this one we can use something else. Okay, so desk. Oh yeah, well, let's do the desk. Let's try to do as much as we can of these small assets. Then the only remaining thing for assets in this scene, besides some retakes, that will be, yeah, retakes is for the future. This is the main thing. If I can clear this, probably not today, but it will depend how much I can cover. It will be very good if I can improve this today. So let's at least desk and maybe start doing some drinks. We're gonna populate those shelves there in the bar. Let's get some, let's try some, no, from here maybe. Yeah, so as you can see, we can storytell with this level at this point, right? At least for a couple of expressions that might work. So this is very, very inspiring, right? So let's I'm gonna even save here. So you see how the grease pencil blends well with, well, at least it blends okay-ish. It's very stylized, but imagine that this is more like, right, you don't need to have the, something I've learned about storytelling on making 3D animation films, even comics, right, but animation, you don't need to be like a story, a graphic story would be told if you have the main. Actually, I'm also very storyboard inclined and animatic, you know, story real animatic inclined. So I have this search for the dramatic effect of screenplay or the composition, right? And but it's not that of course I care about the quality of the rendering of the graphism, but let's save here a render. But yes, I actually care too much maybe, so like looking for the perfection, but you know, the story will be told. So this is something that I have some contradiction, personal artistic contradiction with personal stuff myself, but this is why when I really start to storytell properly, smoothly in the flow, is when I was doing well, except when I was a kid, then I was natural flow, but for the most part. But in the adult or adolescence, or when I was younger and then older also, it was when I started to do webcomics with sketch, right? I was sketching the pages, and then I was just I was not caring about the rendering, except the rendering as sketches, right? Artistic drawings, not very complex, just because sometimes the pages were just sketches, incomplete or just sketches, right? And but the story or some quality, of course, of sketching, that is my practice. So I love sketches and roughs and doodles and croquis and all that. So this is an art form for myself. So then I thought that maybe in 3D the idea of something sketched, it's yeah, we can sketch. It's different. It's more mechanic. It's horrible actually, but there would be something in this direction, right? So I don't need, for example, to have yeah, the pose needs to be good, the composition, but it's like at some point you can get the thing done. So if this is why I need to push the rig so much, right? So I won't care so much then about the color composition, even the shot, the camera angle or motion, whatever. But if I can get the right, as if I was sketching, right, then spontaneously I get some pose. And this is why I care so much in rigging, the control rig. I was talking about those problems with other conventions, right? Is that, for example, you see I've sketched a pose, but look at this hand. This is horrible. It's unacceptable, right, for storytelling. So, from my point of view, so. But why I didn't pose these fingers? It takes too long to pose, even if I'm using here a very easy setup. So of course this will be better as soon as I get pose assets, right? But you see, plenty pose assets, it's part of rigging, right? So I would like to get everything as fast as possible, because this is how I draw and how I think of the pose. So this is my objective here, and so if I can get those things from oh, you're not seeing the render, sorry folks. Talking, but here's what I've rendered. So basically, no, not this. So I need a moment here, and I'll be back to making this restart the assets. Let's so this is enough. This quality is enough to tell certain elements of story, but it's not sufficient for. I wouldn't feel comfortable, so I need to do more. Yeah, make this rig more like complete. Let's get my. I'll get my pause here, folks, and I think it will be just a few minutes. Let's check here. Be right back in. Yeah, I'll say 7 minutes here. So be right back. Alright folks, we are back. So this time for the desk, which I think will be on the corner, not sure. Yes, so we're gonna, maybe I'll have to remove this asset here. We can use her to sit, because if there is a desk, then there might be a chair, right? So we're gonna try to build this in reference to the character. Alright, this seems to be nice, so I'm not sure exactly. I want to do something sort of unique. I thought something super simple, but by reflecting maybe a little more, let's make something quite original here. So let's go back here, let's hide the rig, let's also make this unselectable, and we're gonna add something to the Dorothy lounge. Okay, we're gonna add the, we can actually start by, we could duplicate a cabinet here, then we're gonna object relations, make single user, no, make local all, right? So this thing now is here. We're gonna it's this one, so we're gonna edit it, gonna change to desk. It has a mirror modifier. No, it doesn't have a mirror modifier for some reason. Okay, so I think it lost the mirror. It has. No, it's a linked duplicate. No, this is very dangerous. So it didn't work. Oh, this affects all the... I understand. Wow, that operator is crazy. Very dangerous. So basically, if I bring this thing here, then relations make local just selected objects, just all is for, I was using all, but I didn't know what it was doing. Okay, this will affect all the... It's not very clear also to this file, So this is just for this single object, so it's make local selected objects, data and materials, not all. All is disaster. So now we can start working on this, right? It has the array modifier, but why these things don't have the mirror modifier? Well, maybe I've applied it I I don't remember having... it was because of the shape key. Yes, it was just because of this. Alright, so it is good. So we need to edit now this thing. We're gonna change it to T-desk, and we're gonna use, we don't need the shape keys. And we're gonna I need to delete the one side. There's more mesh. Yeah, this seems right. No, there's still a little more. This now this seems to be correct. Then we can also I'm gonna delete normal. Alright, then we can also delete these faces, delete this face. We don't need the RA modifiers, just one desk generate mirror. Gonna use clipping, and this should be clipped. Yes, we can delete these faces. Okay, it's already starting to look like a desk, so we need to improve these heights. Gonna make some fixes here. Why don't we extrude this? Now this thing has an interior, right? So we need to address this. Yeah, that's not gonna work, so we need to extrude like this. Looks like I already have some errors in the... No, it's just this face, it is diagonalized. We don't want that, so not for now. Then we can create this, extrude X, we can F, and then we can dissolve this. We're going to close this box. We don't need this. We can dissolve this for now. She needs a chair also. We don't need to maintain the same structure, or maybe we... I'm thinking here. Well, the materials are... Yeah, we can maintain some certain structures, but... So it's better that I don't delete everything here. Let's try to adapt here. So for example, this could be... better if I just isolate these parts, like everything is in front here. Let's move this to this will simplify some job. Okay, so we don't want this structure here. Yeah, it is too complicated. I'm just gonna mimic it from like indirectly. We'll find. I don't need to. I'm gonna just get the inspiration. It's not that hard. It might be better for the result, for the inspiration, for everything. And so I'm not constrained in some very annoying setups which actually don't help anyway, anyhow. Okay, let's try this again. No, it's not that. I want to bevel this one indeed. Something like that, very subtle detail for. I don't think these ones need bevel. Let's see what happens. Oh yes, this will be nice to bevel. Or maybe not like that. No, I have some. Yeah, I have some problems here, so I'm not gonna do that. What is the shortcut for shift control? So the idea here is just I want to get some materials here that would have some interesting effects if ever I could. Need to return to the Seems like it is suffering from some now it is working. Okay, anyways, this is just for assessing what we got here, so maybe get here the this face could be transparent. Yeah, we could try to, let's say, do this and to solve this thing. If you have these glasses, you need to make this into a solid face, and F, and change this to glass again. No, I think my mistake. Need to extrude. Then this we are going to face. Alright, so this is nicer. Maybe in the center, yeah, we have a mistake here. This is annoying. problem here. What happened to the... Okay, so there's a lot of problems here, but we don't care right now. Why this? Yeah, so I need some materials here. Let's change these patterns here. Not too bad. could make this in another structure. Not this, but I have some metals here. Yeah, I could totally try this. Makes sense. Let's first unwrap this in a very similar way. Then you can see what we can do about the variations. I like this one. Then here we can let's first close this thing. Okay, no, maybe just a bit smaller. Yes. And now for the legs, I'm just gonna get this stuff and maybe extrude scale. It's not extrude, it's like yeah, extrude these ones in this. So this one could have a different material. I'd like something like a page, but I don't have this. Another glass, okay, for now. The bottom structure is a mess. Just need to unify those. This is the mirror, so I cannot cut there. It's because I'm seeing transparent here, of course. Okay, time to make some other crazy stuff here. Let's try Shift D. Alright, so this is out of space, of course. And so we got a desk here, which is we could get more screens here and there and many other stuff, but oh yeah, shelves, right? Because this is not very useful without some place to, except I sacrificed all the available place for that. No, we can still manage like here. Taking advantage of this thing here. Good. Alright, so here we just need to Alright, I think this is a adequate desk. It could be larger, I think, but it's just for one person here. It's not a meeting. Okay, I'm gonna save this. Then I need here to yeah, it relates to this other in many ways, not just the materials. There is some the colors. Yeah, alright, this is more alien-like, of course. Then we need a chair, right? I want to complete this so we could use the same, yeah, we can start with the same. Maybe not that. I'm not sure if a chair or something more. Yeah, at least something that might be comfortable to some extent. But maybe not one of those super... Yeah, I want it to be something more rustic, maybe, if you can say like that. Okay, we got the proportions correct, so we can probably hide the character for a moment. Okay, I don't know why I can't. Okay, I think I was outside and trying to click stuff. Yeah, let's select this stuff and selection. It inherits the material, so this is nice. We can also try to just get a solidify here, this will help. Then we gonna apply this. Okay, for some reason this decides not to work. It's okay, we're gonna use this one. I'll try to use the same pattern. This is not gonna be useful. Maybe just this. Alright, so we got the assets, the desk and the chair. It's very wild, it's not, it's a bit far from what I originally thought, so I ended up doing this in a way more intense way, let's say like this. Let's render this and see what happens. We're getting some problems with the reflections there, but otherwise it is. Maybe this, I need to refresh the EV, the workbench scene, I'm not sure. Let's see. Not sure where it is, but desk, okay, it is here. We're gonna bring it back to Dirty Lounge and to the assets. So do they have a parent? Yes, they probably are parented to. No, they don't have parent. Okay, we're gonna parent them to desk chair. So we're gonna parent this stuff to this. All these cabinets also should probably be parented to here, right? I'm gonna try to find this in the outliner. Yes, this seems to be correct. So the linked scene didn't bug out. But maybe there is inconsistencies. Okay, let's try this shot here. Looks like she's typing. Okay, I don't like the pose is nice, but the lighting is not good. Only here it's nice, but then on the render it doesn't work. But anyways, we got here enough play here. So we got something here that is working, and we complete the desk. And actually something which wasn't planned, but desk chair, of course. Then those things, yeah, it's too late, I'm not gonna address them, but they should be much funnier to do than, or faster. Drinks, we're gonna make them from here, so a few of them, gonna make a lot of, maybe some randomization. Everything could take a long time if you go deep in details, but I'm not gonna do too much for this. So I intend to use randomizer for the, not geometry nodes, but shaders, right, for these drinks, bottles, cups, glasses, stuff like that. And then books, yeah, so the books for, we'll have also some randomizations. I never use this too much, but here we're gonna have a fun time. The CD-ROMs, just to have some media tech stuff, so books and CD-ROMs. Of course, they are not CD. Notebook PC, this will an asset like in the future. Computers are not computers that PCs, they are actually everywhere, right? they are plugged in the walls, they are like the internet or electricity or whatever. So maybe this is an old idea. Maybe I'm gonna cut this. If we ever do anything like this, we'll do something different. Also, we could try to... It's because I find cool the idea to have traditional books, but we could also merge book CDs, yeah, so media books. Media, it means sci-fi books, yeah. So I can simplify this. And pencils, this really I think I'm not gonna bother right now. Maybe I can get those tiny assets from Blender kit, so maybe that will be better. If I find something, I hope to find a collection of things that could play, so that could be easy, simple, low poly, so I can build on top of that. So but we're gonna simplify, so drinks and books, like tech books. Okay, so not book ROMs. So that means book ROMs, yeah, whatever. It's the concept here. We want to try to find something that looks like a book, traditional book, but has some e-book properties or CDs, I don't know, something. So I might have multiple formats, right? Yeah, so let's try to take just thing from here, from this. Yeah, okay, it's feasible, it will work for this scene. So I'm gonna just save this. It's this niche, this corner needs some lights for this, but this all would be like extra stuff that I'm not gonna even list here. It's not fundamental. So we squeezed this thing to, and found out these results, and now what we need to do is just, yeah. So this could take. If I do rigging, I can probably do this both, and then this last day. So by calculating in a regular, not too much pushed process week for the next day, so I can probably end this tomorrow and continue rigging. It depends on how much time I put tomorrow. So if I can finish all this tomorrow, that will be great. So that will complete this thing, and then just the rigging will be remaining. So it's clear to me now that next week, somewhere the next week, I should be able to start finally the webcomics. So about when I complete this, then only the rig and some compositing essays, but this I do anyway. So when I complete these assets, then it's just the rig that I need to improve and complete, but we'll be able to start even without those last improvements, because I'll be working offline, folks. So thanks for watching, hope that was interesting. Tomorrow we'll be back again, and yeah, every day. I try to be, sometimes I can't find the right moment to be on, but yeah, now my best bet is like middle of next week, I will have definitively all the assets required, everything, even the rig, in a good sufficient good state to start no matter what. So it's like a deadline. So next Wednesday I would be able to start the webcomics process. So even if I don't have the things completed, I will start, because I need to gain experience on how to build because I have many questions of how I can address the hybrid language of webcomics and, well, comics, sequential art, and 3D animation, or yeah, whatever I'm trying to do. And so we'll see. I need to gain some experience with the cameras and see. I already have a plan. I probably am gonna use this video sequencer editor, and I'm gonna be building. I don't have the setup here, so then we can bring the soundtrack, the timeout stuff. I'm considering compositing. I even have idea if I learn how to manipulate the where is this stuff? Wait, there isn't video editing. Okay, rendering. I don't know why. I think this video editing. So if I get to know how I can cut, slice shot from here in this stuff. I already have some experience with this, but this I've never done. So if I can get those shots here, like animated or not, still images or camera views, yeah, probably camera views, and if I can slice them, that will be very nice. Because this will be like a 2D software working on top of the scene. So we'll see. So I need to gain some experiences. So this is what I've been building in my mind, but probably I'll have to work more to find what will be the ideal solution. Otherwise it will just be rendering, just as if it were 3D animation. But I think I can do better, and then re-render from the composite, from the video sequencer editor. I think that will be like double rendering. Should be stupid. So I want to find a way that can mix up in a single amount of rendering of animation. So that's it, folks. Sorry for excessive chat. So take care and happy blending. Have a nice weekend. See you soon. And good luck on your projects.